good afternoon, everyone. Happy Tuesday, October 27th. I hope you all are having an amazing day. I am just going to really quickly go here and mute this so that I do not have any feedback on my end. And I just wanted to let you know as well that we just have a couple more days left for the contest for the day trading quick start guide book. So if you are interested, it is down at the bottom. Also, if you are new to my channel, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. I would love to hear from you all. And we will get started in just a second. I'm going to share the link. If you guys are watching, please share the video so we can help more people and see what is really moving. That is not what I wanted to share. The computer does not want to work with me today. It's no fun. All right, copy, paste. Does not want to work. All right, so we are just going to really quickly shoot it out on Twitter, share as well, and I don't like that it makes me have to update it right as it happens, so come join me live. Today could be really wild and crazy. So let's get into the stock charts. Hold on, I gotta get off of this and over here, and let's pull up the charts. The good stuff, right? And that's why we're here. Today, the SPY and the Qs both had some opportunities to the downside. If we look at the SPY, let me pull up the chat on the other computer so I can see if you guys are there, joining me live as well. That today, the Qs and the SPY both had some opportunities to the downside really quickly this morning. And, we do follow the dark pools and the dark pool levels over at the training pit. If you guys want to learn more about it, come on over and join us at the training pit. You guys will be able to understand the higher probability trades with low risk, right? So, hey, Asif. Oh, you like the black shirt? Yeah, I went for something different today. Uh-oh. That's all right. You still made 10%, right? All right, so we see here, we looked at this before. This is the anchored VWAP from our former high. So the way Brian Shannon uses it is when it's below the anchored VWAP, we're more bearish. And then once we break above, we're more bullish. And that can be used as a potential support area. Yes, it was yesterday. It was again today. So let's look at, you guys know my favorite, the 45-minute chart as well. And I do have this 45 degree. I've been playing around with Gann, but let's see if maybe we'll just move this over here to the bottom. I have it locked. Let me bring it down here. Let's bring it down to the low down here. We'll see, hey, are we going to break above it? I'm just messing around with it. So truly just an experiment on the chart right there. We have all of these trend lines from the past that converged right here at 339.25 roughly. So we had a little trade to the downside down here, coming back down to 338.40, found more support. We are setting higher lows for the SPY right now. And let's change that one to be a blue color so we know that that's more recent as well. And you can see we had a nice reversal candlestick over here on yesterday with the volume that came in the middle of the day, roughly 130. Today we're coming up, we're hitting this. We have 168. Yeah, for sure, Kyle. I've got AMD on my list. You already know that. That we have 168 stocks reporting today. Microsoft as well is reporting. And right now we're up $2.75. For Microsoft. So that is important to see. We did pull back to this gray moving average, and now we're just testing the 50 simple moving average from below. So we have the faster moving averages above us. Would really like to see a close above 214.50 over here. That 425, that's on the 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 45-minute chart. Yeah, 214. I would really love to see a close above that. Also, that's the 20 simple moving average. That means we would break back up above the 50 simple moving average, the 20 simple moving average. We're seeing a lot of crazy prints right now. Hey, bat scientists. In the market, some really big ones to watch. There will be a big move coming. So maybe be patient and don't try to anticipate it. Just wait for that big move. But we are definitely seeing some big moves or big prints in the market right now. So keep it on watch. I'm going to put an alert for 214.50 crossing up, as the market is bullish overall, right? But we did have a downturn. Had a big volume the day before. We have earnings, right? 154. And right now we are up on the day. Will we close up on the day, and will this continue to the upside? Also, Apple as well. Had Apple on my long list today, and look at that. It broke above 1650. That's where I said, hey, if we can go above here, potential long. Look at this. We also have this trend line back here, and we are bouncing above it. So we came down. I don't know, I did an inverse of the colors today, but 1450, that was my low for the day. If we break below, let's go short. Also would likely draw the market down. Well, today we've really pushed up. You see, we also somewhat have an upside down head and shoulders, shoulder level, top of the shoulders right here. We have the midline right here, the neck area, roughly 1525, and we are up above. So watching to see as well if we can close above 1750, our 50 simple moving average over on our daily chart, and the 200 simple moving average on the 45-minute chart over here. VXX, I mentioned to watch this, so keep this in mind, right? VXX, we had a big print over here. We're still up here. We're above it right now. That is the fear indicator. Not one good to trade, but watch it. Also yesterday, SPXU, another one to watch. Look, we came down, they tested their large print yesterday, and now we're up above it again. Are we going to drop below? If we drop below this 811, 810 area, we might be seeing new highs on the market, right? This comes up, typically hits the 50 simple moving average, and it tends to pull back down, right? It doesn't tend to go in the upward motion. This is the inverse. So when the SPY goes to the upside, SPXU goes down. The market is overall bullish, so SPXU in general will go down. So are people coming in and they're saying yesterday we're going to short this right here because we know that it's going to come up? You know what? I used to, bad scientist, but I don't anymore. I don't really use that. It's simply one standard RSI. I was thinking of Bollinger Bands. I've actually been using more stochastics to see when it starts to cross over, like over here. On the 45-minute chart, I'll find that many times this will be a fairly true depiction. Hey, when it's oversold down here, we tend to have a surge higher. So let's look at the SPY as well to see for the intraday trades. Hey, look, we came down, all of a sudden it crossed up. Yes, potentially we're down here. Look at how we do have this price action. Yes, it dropped down, came down, and then if you bought when it crossed on the bottom down here, yes, you would have had a nice swing to the upside pre-market, and then we opened and dropped right back down to close. However, we set a higher low as well on the stochastics. So looking at that, also following this trend line that I just drew today, we are setting higher lows as well. So watching all of that, this is a directional movement indicator. This was set up by Wilder. He was a technical analyst. And it will tell you when the downward trend is dominating. So right now it shows that it's still in a downward trend. Yes, we see the moving averages pulling back. When it crosses to green, that would be more of a confirmation that the trend has changed. So sometimes I will use this as a potential entry, and then follow it with that confirmation of the green crossing above. On the daily chart, it shows that we are in that downward trend. Yes, right at the moment we're below the faster moving averages. However, it seems as if we've found a little bit of support on the shorter time frame right here. So I would also look at that. So there's so many different components that I do put together, as well as following the dark pool prints, right? Right now we are just at close from yesterday. So are we going to go up from here? Are we going to go down from here? We're following the trends, the 21 EMA down. And we almost have this we have this wedge on the shorter time frame right here. Right, where's the high? The high of this candlestick is right here. So we're actually outside of this little wedge. And will it hold and find support down here roughly at 339, right at 339.25, 339.40, and continue to the upside with some volume coming in? Let's look at it even closer, 2 minutes. Do we see that there's volume coming into it right here? It's showing a bit oversold again, or not oversold, but coming down on the stochastics. Is it going to bounce off of this red moving average as well? Yeah, there's a lot going on with the analysis, but see on the shorter time frame, look, we hit that 425. You guys know I love that. 425, this is a 2-minute chart. So it's crazy how it will actually, let's go look at a 3-minute chart and see where it is on the 3-minute chart. So 3-minute chart, it's still way up here, but we hit the 200 simple moving average right there. And this one. So there's so many different time frames, and seeing when all of them align together and then going forward with that. So we're right at that. Hey, if we break below this, this is my potential short area. Again, we had some short opportunities today, right? Tested there and then came back down, pretty much set a double bottom. This is it's really in a range today. It feels to me like they are positioning for a bigger move, right? This is what I'm seeing. We need to have it break one way or the other. Otherwise, they could go like this all day and it would be really choppy. So it would need to break down below 338.20, we'll call it, or back up above 339.80, 340 really, that 3,400. So many people are also using the 3,400 level on the ES futures as a point of reversal, almost like a pivot point. Hey, if we're above it, then we need to go long again. If we're below it, we need to go short. So this is what I see on that shorter time frame, that really it's a sideways day on the SPY, and you can also tell by the candlestick over here. We don't have a lot of motion happening. All right, let's go through the list for today. So had Pinterest on my list as a potential breakout. I'm looking to see if I have my image up over here. No. So we did have potential move to the upside right here, broke out from 51.50 up to 52.25, nice 75-cent move. EXAS had a nice move to the upside right off of 114. Look at that, 14 points right off the bat. Nice long right there. Facebook also had a nice move to the upside, breaking out above 280. And we're in this upward trend line. So we're still heading up. Yes, we came up pretty much almost to that midline of the upward channel. 283.63, and then pulled back. So now, much like that chart on the SPY, look, here is our sideways price action, right? It's a chop fest. That's why many times I will be done by 11 o'clock. Where was the motion for the day? Hey, look, right here is that movement. Now it's chop salad time, time to go eat lunch, time to do a nice YouTube video and help you guys, but not necessarily get in, because it's just whippy and their positioning, in my opinion. Apple as well, we looked at Apple a little bit. Apple had a nice move above 116.50 up to 117.25. Microsoft as well to the upside. They were all so oversold, in my opinion, that running into earnings, they usually like to take it down, run it into earnings, and then position a little bit more. If they brought it down, in my head, this is what I'm thinking, right? If I'm a really big guy and I'm looking to bring it down, then why would I be bringing it down? To short it? No, I probably already shorted it up over here. We have the earnings coming out. And that's going to be on Thursday. My opinion, we might be heading up to 140 with Apple. So just my thoughts on that. AMD, for you, Kyle. I was thinking of you today. It had broken above. However, today we really broke down. This is my point. Obviously, you see it broke down even before the market opened. And we had this trend line and boom, look at that. Nice bearish engulfing candlestick from, well, not yesterday, it didn't engulf the entire candlestick, but we have a nice reversal right here. We have sellers really taking it over. We have upward candlestick, selling, taking it down, opened below. So this was kind of a little abandoned baby, but we had the wick right there. And coming all the way back down and finding support at the low from 3 days ago. FE, First Energy, I don't know why I kept thinking Fire Energy. So we have a doji day right here. We do have earnings coming up, big volume, a lot of resistance right here, roughly 33.30. It's not able to break above. So we might see that this will come and it will pull back to the downside coming up with earnings. Maybe they're running it up and then earnings is going to come out. Oh, you know what? People didn't pay their electric bills because they didn't have all their income coming in, and so it's going to drop. I don't know. Just a speculation there. Pfizer is flat on the day. However, it opened down and it's filling that gap up today. So it's in a no trade zone, had earnings as well today, and pretty much trading right where we were yesterday. We did see some big activity on it yesterday, so you can imagine we saw all of this. We had a large candlestick, so it had big moves today down to the 50 simple moving average. Look at how that held support, 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 support. All we need is a break above 38.20 and we will likely be seeing new highs or back up to the $41 mark for Pfizer. Intel is still trading down lower. First, second, third day, we might find a support down here. And it tested 45.45. What a nice number, right? And so we might see that we'll have some buying power coming in. The volume is dropping. If I wanted to get into Intel, I would wait for that upward motion, that upward swing to the chart, not trying to catch the falling knife. Right now on the big picture, let's pull it back on a weekly chart. I wonder if I did 1W. We're hitting support back here and we're below the 200 simple moving average on the weekly chart. And AMD was screaming. We've got AMD, yeah, that was screaming higher. And so usually when one of the semiconductors is doing really well, the other ones are losing. Little sleeper one for chips is MRAM. It's another little sleeper semiconductor. And who knows? This could end up being like Intel. This could end up being like AMD with chips, and it's super, super inexpensive in comparison. I mean, we're talking about a $7 stock versus 78 or 45. So potential to make 8 times the money. It IPO'd back in October of 2016. And if we're able to break above that 1025, yeah, I've never heard of that one. Did you mistype that one, or is that a 5-letter ticker there? PPSI. And I'm curious, did anyone join me here? Anyone that's here now join me this morning for yoga? It was a nice yoga class, core work. I'm still working on the camera angles. It's kind of hard to do with horizontal and then get me standing, so working on all that. All right, so with Intel, back to Intel, really not looking that healthy, right? We had this upward trend for quite a while. We've broken it, and now I'm actually going to adjust it back here and down here. We did breach that upward channel and this is a weekly chart. So we've breached that. Wherever our new low is, I'm going to draw that new trend line right there. Will we come down all the way to 41.20? Potentially. Ah, nice ASIF. Awesome, Terry. Thank you guys for joining. Sorry I can't chat with you guys on the screen and stuff like that, but it's fun to know who is there. So Lily, you guys know my 425. Here we have it on the daily. Look at what happened back here. We had a one-day spike down below, October 22nd, and that was earnings as well. So history repeats itself. And if we have a close with a buying wick at the bottom, we might see this be a new bottom for 2020. Here we have one that almost hit it March 23rd. That's obviously when we had the pull down in the market. That's okay, Asif. Everybody is different, right? If you practice every day, you will get more flexible. Your back will feel better. Everything will open up, so you'll feel better. With this, if we could close above this 425, I would think this would be a potential to move forward. Okay, Bat Scientist. Let me go over these and then we'll look at VXX. So we have PPSI for Kyle. Let's pull this over here. So on our daily, this looks like a, classic pump and dump type scenario. Came up to 934, and it's really interesting. Oh, this is the daily chart, sorry. So it came up to 934. We have a gap to fill to the downside, back down to 250 right here, if not below that to 199. And I don't know if this has what the float is like on this, but all of the volume, pretty much the most recent volume is above us. So this is looking bearish to me. It looks oversold on the daily. However, the market can be irrational, right? On the past 2 days, let's make this a 15-minute chart. It'll be easy. Oops, it'll be easier to see. So it's found support at 260. If we breach that 260, potential test down to 250, 236, and so on down to likely $2 from there for me. All right, Baba. I bought my daughter a share of Baba when she was born, as it was her first word. So she has a share of Baba. I'm happy to see it up in the 300s. When she was born, it was February of 2017. So we are talking back here. So it's had a nice run up since then, nice 50%. February of 17 back here, that's even 18. Look at that, all the way back there. Gained 200, not so bad. You have another hurricane coming. When is the hurricane due to hit, Kyle? All right, so Baba over here, who is Shrikar was asking. So Baba, yeah, Baba is really surging to the upside. Online retailer, a lot of the online retailers are really moving forward. Now here's the thing, on earnings, the past couple of earnings, it has surged higher. Last February, okay, that was right before the downturn, not a good indicator, but we've just been continuously going higher, right? It had this resistance and then earnings came, we shot higher, gained roughly, we went from 180 to 230, $50. So we gained roughly 30%, pulled back down. The one earnings here was in February. So maybe that fourth quarter, seasonally, it looks like it doesn't tend to do that well, but we've had a nice run up. I don't know if they have projected earnings. We have this resistance on the daily chart. You can see it right here, really a little bit lower. Actually, those two candles that popped above it. So a nice top right here at 310.40. Once we broke out from there today, look at how the volume really increased. Oh, biggest volume candlestick for today is right here. If we close below 314.36, potential chance that this might retrace down into the earnings call. But right now it's just surging higher, probably in relation to, wow, we're already at Z, Tropical Storm Zeta. Wow. All right, and I have never heard of this one before. T-Cent. Oh yeah, I've heard of the company, but never heard of the ticker. So this has a gap up today. Looks like it trades internationally on another, yeah, OTC. So probably on another market as well. And so stocks that trade on other markets tend to have really big gaps in them. So it can make it a little more difficult to trade. You see how gappy this is? It gaps here, dims down, gaps up here. And so it's harder to trade for that reason, because it does have gaps. It's a bit overextended, but this one doesn't tend to follow the moving averages that well, you see? And so it will gap back down. This has the potential, if it were to gap back down, maybe down to 72. But it's really hard to say because it trades on another market, and so we have those crazy gaps in the chart right there. Okay, so VXX, what's your question here with VXX? VXX, what are my thoughts of how VXX will perform during election week? So let's look at, let's go back in history, right? And let's look at 4 years ago. Let's go back to 10/27/2016. All right, 10/27/2016. We're right here. So going into election, now remember this has split because it's always going down. So this went from 127 up to 153. There was a pullback just before the elections. This typically happens. Let's see, what day did it start? October 24th. That was, we'll say October 26th. That was pretty much Monday. Hey Google, what day of the week was October 24th, 2016? Let's see if that was a Monday.
2016 fell on a Monday.
There you go. So that would be the equivalent to the 26th. So if we pull this like this, and we make this a daily chart, and undo. Let's go back, undo what I just did. Put it back the way that it was. All right, so I want it, sorry guys, we'll make this happen though. October 27th, let's go there. All right, and we'll zoom it in. So let's not link these together. Let's make this a daily chart over here. If we look to see what happened, right? And if history repeats itself, we'll measure it. We gained 26% from October 24th to November 3rd. So let's go here. That was the 23rd. We'll go up 26%. So rough estimate that maybe this will go to $28. Just doing the math on the two charts, right? It's $26.95. Oh, maybe even a little less. So let's do it, and let's see, maybe a little less. 26, oops. So maybe $27.50 would be my rough guess right there, Bat Scientist. Just a thought, right? If history repeats itself like it did last time that we had the election. Best thing to do, look back and see. Maybe a conservative would be 20%. And then let's go here and let's do the SPY. And let's see if we can go back to the SPY on the same date. All right, so here's the 20. No, I want this on that date over here. And we'll make this the SPY and make this current. All right, so on the 27th, we pulled back to 208. So what was the total pullback? Total pullback was not that much, 2.89%, right? And that was, let's look at the trend overall. If we look at October, right? So here is the 12th of October. All right, we'll put it roughly here. So we came down, we shot up, which we're not really shooting up. Yeah, we kind of had that happen here, right? And yeah, look at that, same day roughly. And then we're coming down. So if we go from, let's adjust this over here. All right, so 3%. If we were to look at 3% from here, it brings us pretty much to where we went on yesterday, Monday, right? Look at that pullback, 3%. So maybe that's all the move that we're gonna have. So Carol, VXX is a fear indicator, and VXX trades off of the VIX as its underlying instrument. So let's show up the VIX, which is a volatility index for the S&P 500. Now, what does that mean? Volatility index, it's going to measure basically the put and call ratios, and it's going to measure how much people are buying puts on the S&P 500. So it will show, in other words, that they believe that the S&P 500 will be dropping. So there's fear that the market might pull back. Not good to ever trade. Good to watch for indications because it's an indicator. That's the way I use it. I use it as a fear indicator index, not an index to trade, because overall the market is bullish. And when we look at the big picture for VXX, let's bring all the way back. Let's go look at it. If we look, let's go 5 years for both. It has spikes, but these spikes are corrections. This one, for example, is going down always. It's almost like a reverse split type stock because they do reverse splits. And it's not one that you want to be in long term. It will tend to pull back and pull back and pull back because the market is always bullish. However, with COVID, it shot up. And with elections, times of uncertainty in the market, it will also go up because people have fear of what's going to happen. And so they buy protection on their portfolio many times by buying SPY puts, sort of like an insurance policy for their longer term holdings. And so we'll see that it will tend to rise in times of uncertainty for the market. All right, so I hope that helps you guys. I'm going to call it a wrap for today. Wow, it's already 12:50. So have an amazing afternoon, everyone. If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I do respond back to them, or also shoot me an email at jane@cjanetrade.com. And I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15. And I'm switching when I release my video. So I'll be releasing a video tomorrow night and Friday night on my new videos. All right, so have a great afternoon. See you all tomorrow. Bye.